Love isn't always loud. It doesn't always come dressed in grand speeches, expensive gifts, or dramatic gestures you can post about on social media. More often than not, the deepest love reveals itself in silence, in the little things he does when no one else is watching, in the ways he treats you when there's nothing for him to gain. You see, when a man has chosen you as his forever, he doesn't just say it once and expect the words to carry him through. He proves it again and again in the quiet consistency of his actions. The truth is, almost anyone can charm you with words. They can tell you they love you, tell you they'll always be there, tell you that you're special. But not everyone can live those words out when life gets messy, when days are busy, when emotions run high, or when you feel at your lowest. That's when the difference becomes clear, when the one who truly loves you shows up in the subtle, almost invisible ways that make your heart feel safe without needing validation. Sometimes we miss those quiet signs because they don't scream for attention. They don't look like fireworks. They look like steady candles that never burn out. They look like the way he listens without cutting you off, or the way he notices the little details you thought no one else would care about. They look like him reaching for your hand in a crowded room just so you know you're not alone, or stepping back during an argument because your peace matters more than his pride. These aren't small things. These are the signs that he isn't with you for convenience, or for the season, or until something better comes along. These are the signs that he has anchored himself to you for the long haul, that in his mind and in his heart, you are home. And when you pay attention to these quiet ways, you realize he's already telling you, without needing to say a word, that you are his forever choice. This isn't about perfection. He won't always get it right, and he's not meant to, but what makes him different is the way he tries, the way he shows up for you, the way he makes choices with you in mind, even when life demands more from him than he can give. That devotion, that respect, and that consistency is how you know the love is real. So today, let's uncover those subtle but powerful gestures, the ones that reveal a man's heart without him even realizing it. Here are 12 quiet ways a man shows you're his forever choice. He listens without interrupting. He listens without interrupting, and that small act carries a depth that most people overlook. When a man truly sees you as his forever choice, he doesn't just hear the words you speak. He lets them land, he lets them breathe, and he gives them the space they deserve. In a world where so many conversations are battles to speak louder or get the last word, his silence becomes a gift. It isn't the silence of disinterest or boredom. It's the quiet respect of someone who wants to know the texture of your thoughts, the rhythm of your worries, and the sparks of your joys. He resists the urge to jump in with solutions too quickly, because he understands that sometimes you don't need answers. You just need to feel understood. The way he leans in slightly, the way his eyes soften as you talk, shows he's not waiting for his turn to speak. He's fully present. And in those moments, you feel like the only person in the world who matters. He isn't distracted by his phone, he isn't checking the clock, and he isn't cutting you off mid-sentence. He gives you room to express yourself, whether you're venting about something small or sharing a dream you've never spoken out loud before. That patience, that willingness to let you finish your story, builds a foundation of trust. It tells you he believes your voice deserves to be heard, not rushed. Listening without interrupting also means he's emotionally disciplined. It shows he values connection more than ego. Even when he might disagree, he allows you to finish because he knows mutual respect keeps love strong. Over time, you begin to notice how safe you feel speaking your mind around him. That safety is no accident. It's the quiet commitment of someone who wants a future with you. By choosing to listen, really listen, he proves through action what words alone could never fully capture. That your thoughts are precious to him, and your heart is his priority. He remembers small details about you. He remembers small details about you, and that is never an accident. When a man truly sees you as his forever choice, your words don't vanish into thin air after conversations end. Instead, they stay with him, woven into his memory like little threads that shape the way he loves you. Maybe you once mentioned your favorite flower in passing, not expecting anyone to notice, but weeks later he shows up with it just because he wanted to see your smile. Perhaps you told him about the song that carried you through a hard season of your life, and without reminding him, he adds it to a playlist he made for you. These aren't grand gestures designed to impress. They're quiet acknowledgments that your smallest truths matter deeply to him. Remembering the little things means he's paying attention even when you think he isn't. The way you take your coffee, the story behind your childhood nickname, the way your voice changes when you're tired, all of it lingers with him. It shows that he isn't simply hearing you. He's storing pieces of you like treasures, carefully kept because they mean something. He could easily overlook these details, brush them aside as unimportant, but he doesn't. Instead, he holds them close because they make you who you are. This kind of remembering builds intimacy in ways words can't. When he brings up something you thought was forgotten, it's like proof that you're seen in your entirety, not just in the big moments, but in the quiet, hidden ones too. You realize you don't need to constantly remind him of what matters to you because he's already carrying it with him. That is the quiet loyalty of a man who is choosing you, not for a moment, but for a lifetime. His memory becomes a mirror that reflects how valuable you are to him, and with each small detail he recalls, he whispers without saying it, "You're unforgettable to me." He protects your feelings in public. He protects your feelings in public. And that protection is one of the clearest signs he sees you as his forever choice. It's not always about standing in front of you like a shield. It's about the subtle ways he makes sure you feel respected, valued, and safe when other eyes are watching. If someone makes a dismissive comment about you, he doesn't laugh along to blend in. He doesn't let the silence hang heavy either. Instead, he redirects the moment, either by gently correcting the remark or by steering the conversation so you don't feel singled out. His first instinct isn't to defend his pride, but to protect your dignity. That alone reveals how deeply he cares. There are times in public when misunderstandings or small disagreements might surface. A man who truly loves you won't turn those moments into a spectacle. He won't raise his voice, roll his eyes, or embarrass you in front of others just to win a point. He knows that disagreements can wait, but your comfort in that moment cannot. So he holds his ground with patience, choosing to address sensitive issues privately, where your heart won't be exposed to judgment or gossip. It's not about hiding problems. It's about prioritizing your emotional safety. Even in small interactions, his loyalty shows. He introduces you with pride, making sure people know how important you are to him. He notices if you're quiet in a group and finds ways to bring you in without forcing you. If he sees you uncomfortable, he's quick to adjust, offering his hand, changing the topic, or simply giving you that reassuring look that says, "I've got you." This quiet form of protection creates an unspoken bond between you. You don't have to question if he'll stand by you, because his actions already answer that. By protecting your feelings in public, he shows the world and you that your heart is precious, and he'll never let it be treated carelessly. He makes time even on his busiest days. He makes time even on his busiest days, and that is never something to take lightly. Life has a way of filling calendars with endless demands, work deadlines, family obligations, personal commitments. But when a man truly sees you as his forever choice, you're never treated as an afterthought. No matter how packed his schedule is, he finds a way to carve out moments for you. It might not always be hours of uninterrupted time, but it's the intentional 5 minutes to check in, the quick call during a lunch break, or the late-night text just to say goodnight. Those small gestures speak louder than any excuse ever could. A busy day could easily give him the option to disappear, but he refuses to let you feel neglected. Even if exhaustion weighs heavy, he shows up, sometimes with his words, sometimes with his presence, but always with his effort. That effort is love in action. It tells you he doesn't measure your worth against convenience. Instead, he rearranges what he can, prioritizing you because your relationship isn't something to be fit in if time allows. It is the very place where he wants his energy to go. The beauty of his time is that it comes with presence. When he's with you, he's not half listening or distracted. He silences the noise of the outside world and gives you his attention. That focus says, "You matter more than the chaos around me." It's not about grand plans or perfect dates. It's about consistency. Even a short walk together, or simply sitting beside you, becomes a quiet promise that you're always part of his day, no matter how heavy his responsibilities grow. By making time when he has none, he shows you what forever really looks like, choosing love again and again, even when life tries to pull him away. He values your opinions and decisions. He values your opinions and decisions. And that quiet act is one of the strongest signs you're not just a part of his life, you're at the center of it. When a man truly sees you as his forever choice, he doesn't treat choices as his alone. Whether it's something small like where to spend the weekend or something life-shaping like career moves, financial plans, or where to live, he asks for your thoughts. And it isn't just a formality. He genuinely listens, weighs your perspective, and considers how each decision will affect not just him, but both of you together. This is how respect reveals itself, not in dramatic gestures, but in the everyday moments where your voice carries weight. He doesn't brush off your concerns as overreactions, and he doesn't pretend to agree while secretly doing the opposite. Instead, he includes you, showing that your insight matters because your life is intertwined with his. Even when he disagrees, he explains his reasoning with patience rather than dismissing you. That openness builds trust, proving that you're his partner, not a bystander in the story he's writing. Valuing your opinions also means he sees your wisdom, your intuition, and your perspective as assets, not obstacles. He knows that love isn't about control, it's about collaboration. So, in decisions that affect the relationship, he doesn't move forward until he knows you've been heard. Over time, this makes you feel secure, not because everything always goes your way, but because you know you'll never be silenced or ignored. In a world full of people who chase control and pride, his willingness to honor your thoughts is rare. By making space for your opinions, he proves that your voice has a permanent place in his life. And that is the quiet, steady rhythm of a man who has chosen you, not just in love, but in every decision that shapes the future you're building together. He supports your dreams without hesitation. He supports your dreams without hesitation. And that kind of devotion speaks volumes about the depth of his love. When a man sees you as his forever choice, he doesn't just admire who you are today. He invests in who you want to become tomorrow. He listens closely when you share your ambitions, whether they sound practical or wild to the outside world. And instead of discouraging you with doubt, he responds with encouragement. He believes in your abilities even in the moments when you question yourself, and his faith often becomes the steady ground you stand on when everything else feels uncertain. Support shows up in countless ways. Sometimes it's the quiet reassurance he gives when you're overwhelmed, reminding you of your strengths. Other times it's the practical help, staying up late to quiz you for an exam, giving you space when you need to focus, or celebrating even the smallest steps toward your goals. His encouragement isn't conditional. He doesn't cheer for you only when it's convenient or when your dream benefits him. Instead, he stands beside you because your happiness is his happiness and your growth feels like a shared victory. What makes his support powerful is that it's free from jealousy or fear. He doesn't see your dreams as competition, nor does he worry that your success will make him less. Instead, he feels proud that the woman he loves has fire in her soul and the courage to chase it. That pride shows in his smile, his words, and his actions. By supporting your dreams without hesitation, he proves that his love isn't about holding you back, but about lifting you higher. He wants a future where you don't look back with regret but with gratitude that someone believed in you completely. That kind of support is more than love. It's partnership. And it's one of the surest signs he's chosen you for forever. He chooses peace over pointless arguments. He chooses peace over pointless arguments. And that choice reveals a maturity that only comes from deep, intentional love. When a man truly sees you as his forever choice, his goal isn't to win battles with you, it's to protect the bond you share. That doesn't mean he avoids every disagreement or pretends conflict doesn't exist. It means he knows when something truly matters and when it's just ego trying to speak louder than love. Instead of raising his voice, slamming doors, or dragging out a fight over something trivial, he takes a breath, pauses, and reminds himself that the relationship matters more than being right in the moment. This quiet strength shows in the way he handles tension. If he sees you frustrated, he doesn't fuel the fire with sharp words. He softens it with patience. If he feels misunderstood, he doesn't rush to prove his point by cutting you off. He listens and waits for clarity. He knows that arguments built on pride can leave cracks in the foundation of love. So he chooses instead to step back and find common ground. Sometimes this means letting go of small irritations, the ones that could easily spiral into days of silence. Other times, it means carefully addressing the issue later, when emotions have cooled, so the conversation is about solutions rather than blame. By choosing peace, he doesn't show weakness, he shows wisdom. He understands that love isn't measured by how loud you can argue, but by how well you can preserve trust in fragile moments. Over time, this creates a sense of safety. You know disagreements won't destroy you because he's proven he values harmony over pride. His calm doesn't silence your voice. It protects the relationship from unnecessary scars. That quiet, steady choice to keep peace alive is one of the clearest signs he's building something lasting with you, something stronger than fleeting anger. He introduces you proudly to important people. He introduces you proudly to important people. And that simple gesture carries a weight that goes far beyond introductions. When a man sees you as his forever choice, he wants the world, especially the people who matter most to him, to know who you are and what you mean to him. He doesn't keep you in the shadows, treating the relationship as something to be hidden or temporary. Instead, he makes space for you in the circles that shaped him. Family gatherings, close friendships, professional milestones, because in his heart, you belong in every part of his life. There's a quiet pride in the way he says your name, in the way his hand rests gently at the small of your back as he brings you into conversations. He doesn't minimize your role or act as if you're just someone passing through. He highlights you, sometimes without even realizing it, by sharing your accomplishments, your passions, or simply by looking at you with admiration when others are near. To him, you're not just his partner. You're a reflection of the love and stability he feels lucky to have found. What makes this so powerful is that it's not about showmanship or appearances. He isn't introducing you to check off a box or prove something to others. He's doing it because he feels proud to stand beside you, because he wants the people closest to him to see what he sees, the kindness, strength, and beauty that made him choose you. And in those moments you realize his love isn't quiet out of secrecy, it's quiet out of depth. By proudly bringing you into his world, he tells you without words that you are not a chapter in his story. You are part of the whole book. It's his way of saying, I want the people who matter to me to know the person who matters most. And that is the unmistakable mark of a man who's chosen you for forever. He sacrifices little comforts for your happiness. He sacrifices little comforts for your happiness. And those sacrifices, though small, speak volumes about the kind of man he is and the depth of his love. When he sees you as his forever choice, he doesn't measure love in grand declarations alone. Instead, it's in the everyday choices he makes, the quiet decisions where he puts you first, even when no one is watching. Maybe it's giving you the last bite of dessert, even though he wanted it too. Maybe it's letting you pick the movie when he's had a long day, or adjusting the thermostat because he knows you're cold. These gestures may look ordinary to outsiders, but to you, they are evidence of a heart that has already chosen partnership over selfishness. The beauty of these sacrifices is that they are not forced or resentful. He doesn't keep score, reminding you later of what he gave up. He does it naturally, almost instinctively, because your happiness feels like his own. Each choice whispers a quiet message. Your comfort matters more to me than mine. It's not about losing himself. It's about building a space where you feel cherished. Over time, these small acts add up to something powerful. They create a rhythm of love that assures you he'll be there in the bigger sacrifices too. If he's willing to give up his seat so you can be more comfortable, or to stay awake just to make sure you got home safely, you know he'll stand beside you when life demands more. His willingness to trade little comforts for your smile shows that love to him isn't convenience, it's commitment. By choosing these small sacrifices day after day, he proves that happiness isn't something he seeks for himself alone. It's something he builds with you, for you, and because of you. And that is the quiet, undeniable language of a man who's already chosen forever. 10. He respects your boundaries naturally. He respects your boundaries naturally, and that quiet act is one of the clearest signs his love is rooted in respect rather than control. When a man sees you as his forever choice, he doesn't just tolerate your limits. He honors them without needing reminders, without making you feel guilty for having them. If you say you need space, he gives it without sulking or withdrawing his affection. If you set limits around your time, your body, or your emotions, he doesn't push against them to see how far you'll bend. Instead, he accepts them as part of who you are, and by doing so, he shows he values your comfort more than his convenience. What makes his respect stand out is its ease. He doesn't treat boundaries as obstacles. He treats them as a map that helps him love you better. He remembers the things that make you uneasy, and he avoids them not because you demand it, but because your peace matters to him. He knows that love built on pressure or guilt isn't love at all, it's control. So, instead of pressing you to move faster, share more, or give beyond your capacity. He waits patiently for what you're ready to offer. That patience is its own kind of devotion. Respecting boundaries also means he trusts you. He doesn't question your need for independence, your friendships, or your choices. He doesn't hover with suspicion or punish you with silence. He gives you freedom because he knows love thrives only when it's chosen freely, not forced. Over time, this creates a sense of safety so deep that you can be fully yourself without fear of judgment or pressure. By respecting your boundaries naturally, he proves that his love isn't about possession, it's about partnership. And in that space of freedom and safety, you see what forever truly feels like. A love that protects your individuality while embracing your heart completely. 1. He includes you in his future plans. He includes you in his future plans. And that gesture is never casual. When a man truly sees you as his forever choice, his vision of tomorrow isn't built with I at the center. It becomes we. He doesn't just talk about his goals in isolation. He weaves you into the fabric of them, naturally and without hesitation. If he's discussing career moves, he'll mention how it might affect both of you. When he thinks about travel, holidays, or even the home he wants one day, you're there in the picture. It's not staged, and it's not an empty promise. It's the quiet merging of his dreams with yours. This inclusion shows in the way he speaks. He says, when we, instead of if I. He talks about building together, planning together, and facing challenges together. He doesn't view your relationship as something temporary or fragile. Instead, he treats it as the anchor around which life will continue to unfold. By doing this, he gives you security, not through declarations alone, but through the steady proof that his choices already account for your presence. What makes this powerful is that it removes doubt. You don't have to guess if he sees you long-term because he shows it in practical ways. Maybe it's adding your preferences when imagining the home he wants, or asking what cities you'd like to visit when discussing future travels. Maybe it's bringing up how he wants to balance work and family life, always with you included in the equation. These conversations reveal that he doesn't plan a life and then fit you in. He plans a life with you at the center. By including you in his future plans, he's not just making room for you. He's making it clear there's no future he wants without you in it. That quiet certainty, shown again and again, is one of the deepest ways a man says, "You are my forever." He stands by you when no one else does. He stands by you when no one else does. And that loyalty is the truest measure of a man who has already chosen forever with you. It's easy for people to be present in your victories, to celebrate when life is generous and your world looks perfect. But the one who stays when the ground shakes beneath you, when others turn away or judge, is the one who loves you beyond condition. When a man stands by you in those moments, he isn't just offering comfort. He's declaring silently that your worth is not negotiable, not dependent on circumstances, and not swayed by the opinions of others. You see it in the way he shows up when you feel most alone. Maybe friends distance themselves, or family doesn't understand, yet he remains steady. He doesn't need the approval of the crowd to validate his choice of you. Instead, he anchors himself closer, reassuring you that even in storms you won't face them alone. His support is quiet but unshakable. A ride to an appointment when you're too anxious to go alone. A hand held tightly when the room feels cold with silence. Or words spoken in your defense when you feel too tired to defend yourself. What makes his presence so powerful is that it's not born out of obligation. It's love choosing loyalty over convenience. He doesn't run when things get messy, because he knows real love is proven in the hardest chapters. When he stands beside you against the current, he's showing you that your bond is stronger than external noise, stronger than setbacks, stronger than doubt. By standing by you when no one else does, he gives you more than companionship. He gives you certainty. Certainty that when the crowd disappears, his love won't. Certainty that in your darkest hours, his hand will still be there to hold. And in that unwavering loyalty, you discover the purest sign that you are, without question, his forever choice.